Welcome to episode 178 of Build Your House Yourself University by BYHYU. I'm your host and fellow student, Michelle Nelson, and together we'll learn the basics of home design and construction and demystify the building process so we can become informed consumers and build quality dream homes with or without a general contractor. Don't call it a comeback. Marble's been here for years, but in the last decade, marble has become more popular than ever, especially in bathrooms and kitchens. But how good of an idea is that? In this week's mini lesson, we'll look at the pros and cons of using marble in our new homes and the difference between two of the most widely requested types of marble, Calcutta and Cararra marble. Before we get into that, let's go over a couple of pro terms: topical sealer and impregnators. Topical sealers are coatings designed to protect the surface of the stone against water, oil, and other contaminants. They're formulated from natural wax, acrylic, and other plastic compounds. Topical sealers are not ideal because when it's time to reseal the stone, the sealer on the stone must be stripped before reapplication. Impregnators. Impregnators are water and solvent-based solutions that penetrate below the surface of the stone. Impregnators repel water and oily substances. And although they keep contaminants out, impregnators are breathable, meaning they allow any moisture that gets into the stone to escape. For marble and any natural stone, you ideally want an impregnator, as long as the stone you choose is compatible with an impregnator. Before we move on, I want to give really sincere thank yous to two listeners who left beautifully written reviews in Apple Podcasts. Thorough. That was the title of the review by At Home Julie. And Big Red 1821, who's an architect, titled her review Well-Researched and Informative. Thank you both. Thank you for all the thought you obviously put into those reviews. I'm humbled and I'm grateful for your kind words. If you want to write a review to support the show, but would rather be short and sweet, that's great too. You don't have to write a poem. Just tell potential listeners why you like the show. All right, let's get into the mini lesson. It's becoming more and more difficult to find quality marble because, if you think about it, it's a finite material that's been used for centuries. There are hundreds of types of marbles that vary in their veining and coloration. But most good quality marble has a fairly consistent color palette and veining pattern. For some homeowners, nothing but real marble will do. Here's why. Let's talk about the pros of marble. Number 1, it's classic and beautiful. Marble is a classic surface that adds timeless beauty and elegance to almost any space. It works in traditional and contemporary homes and everything in between. Number 2, it's easy to work with. Marble is easy for installers to cut, shape, and apply to different surfaces. Number 3, it's familiar. Marble is used often, and it's been around for a very long time. So most experienced installers are very familiar with it. But just in case they aren't, always specify that you want your marble or any natural stone installed according to the current specifications of the Tile Council of North America. Number 3, heat resistant. Because marble is heat resistant, it's great for avid cooks and especially bakers. Its cool, smooth surface is ideal for rolling out dough. But beware, despite its ability to withstand high temperatures, you never want to place a piping hot pot on marble or any natural stone because of the risk of discoloring or burning the surface. Moving on to the cons of marble. Number 1, it's soft. Marble is a soft stone that's very absorbent. It's easily stained, scratched, chipped, and etched. Etch marks are dull spots from acidic or chemical corrosion, kind of like a chemical burn. Since an etch mark is clear or whitish in color, it's sometimes erroneously called a water stain. Marble can be etched by acidic products such as lemon juice, cleaning products, wine, and certain toiletries. And on the forums that I've read, homeowners say that marble can sometimes etch or stain even if it's sealed. They say that even toothpaste and soap can etch marble. This is a good reason not to put marble in a child's bathroom. If you plan to use marble on a floor, because it's soft, eventually you'll see signs of wear from foot traffic. In addition, beware of using soft, porous marble on a floor near a toilet. That's because if you have boys or men in your family who, who sometimes miss the mark, any urine that lands on the floor can be absorbed by the marble, and there's a risk that the marble will hold on to the odor of the urine. Yikes. Here's the second con of marble. Potential future discoloration. Because marble contains minerals, there's always a risk that its iron content will rust or discolor in a wet environment like a bathroom or kitchen. Marble can also be discolored by efflorescence, a mineral salt residue left on the surface of the stone when water evaporates. Your brand new marble shower may look pristine when initially installed, but there's a chance that the iron buried deep in the marble might cause future patchy discoloration from humidity and moisture. It's thought that more veining in the marble indicates a higher iron content, causing more discoloration as compared to marble with less veining. To help you select a marble that's less likely to discolor, test a sample with a soak test. For the soak test, put a tile that you're considering into a bucket of water for 2 days. Take it out and let it sit for 2 more days. Then look carefully for any discoloration that may have developed. Now, to be fair, some people like the stains, scratches, discoloration, and etching that can happen to marble over time. They think of the imperfections of patinaed marble as character. The third con of marble is maintenance. Most marble should be sealed on a regular basis. How regular? Well, it depends on the distributor's recommendations. But the color and finishing of the marble you choose and how often the marble gets wet or potentially stained will determine the frequency of sealing. Every 3 months to a year with an impregnator sealant is the common recommendation. The lighter in color the marble and the more contact it has with water and or products that will potentially stain or etch it, the more often you should seal it. Now keep in mind, a sealer won't protect your marble completely, but it will buy you some time to wipe off products that might stain or etch it. You can seal your marble countertop immediately after installation, since the underside of the countertop is open and exposed, so any moisture can evaporate from the stone. But wait 3 weeks after installation of marble tile before you apply marble sealer. This is to let all moisture evaporate from the newly installed tile and grout, so that moisture won't get trapped inside the tile. I found a PDF from the Natural Stone Institute called Guide to the Care and Cleaning of Natural Stone. It's a pretty good guide, so I'll include a link to it in the show notes. Just go to BYHYU.com. That's BYHYU.com. The fourth con of marble. It's not sustainable. As I alluded to in the introduction, there's a limited amount of marble in the world. Obtaining marble from the quarry and transporting it all over the world can contribute to a big carbon footprint, which isn't good for the environment. All right, those were the pros and cons of marble. Now let's talk about the differences between Carrara and Calcutta marble, two of the most requested types of marble on the market. Many people mix up these two varieties because both Calcutta and Carrara are classic favorites. Sometimes their names are incorrectly used interchangeably because they're both white with gray veining. To make things even more confusing, a lot of Calcutta marble comes from Carrara, Italy. In general, Carrara tends to be grayer with softer, skinnier veining. Calcutta is whiter with bolder, thicker veining. You see more Carrara in older buildings and houses. Calcutta has gained popularity with homeowners over the last decade. Calcutta is rarer than Carrara, and Calcutta is considered a luxury stone. Calcutta typically costs at least 4 times more than Carrara marble. Calcutta gold is a variation of Calcutta with gold mixed in. If you're someone who wants the marble you bought to look the way it did when you bought it, if you or your family members are not diligent in wiping up spills pretty quickly, if you don't have the time or interest in sealing your surfaces every few months to a year, a natural marble product is probably not for you, especially not light-colored marble. Instead, consider porcelain tile, porcelain slabs, man-made quartz, or a more resilient natural stone like quartzite. Or you can limit light marble to backsplashes or walls, since they're less easily stained and worn. Maybe combine a marble backsplash with a solid colored quartz or porcelain slab countertop. If you still have your heart set on marble, even after hearing all the cons, here are a few tips for you. Number 1, look for good quality marble, preferably from Italy, Greece, or Spain. I've read on House that the closer to Italy, Spain, or Greece the marble is sourced, the better it will hold up in a wet environment. Number 2, seal your marble regularly. Wipe down your countertops after each use and clean marble floors often. Number 3, look for cleaning products for marble that have a sealer included. Use this cleaner-sealer combo once in a while on high-use areas as a spot treatment. Number 4, considered polished versus honed marble. A polished marble, or any polished stone for that matter, is more resistant to stains and less absorbent. Some professionals say polished stone doesn't even need sealing. In fact, the sealer may not absorb. One test you can do to see if a sealer is needed is to let some plain water sit on a stone sample for several minutes and see if the stone darkens. If it darkens, that means water is absorbed, and a sealer is probably needed. Ultimately, you'll want to follow the sealing recommendations of the stone distributor or installer. Number 5, when considering any stone tile, ask for at least 3 samples of the current lot to see the shade variation. Number 6, consider Arabescado marble instead of expensive Calcutta. Arabescado, I hope I'm saying that right, it's a decent quality marble with a fairly bright white background and thicker veining than Carrara, although not quite as thick and bold as Calcutta. And it's way more budget-friendly as compared to Calcutta. Number 7, check out 3 websites to find sources of quality marble. Number 1, the Marble Institute of America. Number 2, the National Tile Contractors Association. And the third is the Terrazzo and Tile and Marble Association of Canada. I'll have links in the show notes. Choosing tile for your home is neither right nor wrong. You have to decide what's best for you. But as with everything, I want you to make an informed decision. Before we finish up, let's do a couple of quiz questions to test and review some of the key points. Number 1, true or false? Impregnators are sealants that penetrate below the surface of the stone. Impregnators repel water and oily substances. They keep contaminants out, but they're breathable, meaning they allow any moisture that gets into the stone to escape. Is that true or false? That is true. Impregnators are the type of sealers we want, not topical sealers. which only sit on the top of the stone and need to be stripped off before it's reapplied. And question number 2, which marble am I describing, Calcutta or Carrara? Marble with a whiter background and bolder, thicker veining, and a more expensive price tag. Is that Calcutta or Carrara? That's Calcutta. Remember, if you want the look of Calcutta, but you don't want to spend as much money as you need to for Calcutta, take a look at Arabescato marble, which doesn't look exactly like Calcutta, but it looks somewhat similar, and it's much less expensive. Well, that's all I have for you this week. I hope you learned as much as I did, and I hope you'll join me again next time for another episode of Build Your House Yourself University. BYHYU. Please remember that the purpose of this podcast is simply to educate and inform. It's not a substitute for professional advice. The information that you hear is based only on the opinions, research, and experiences of my guests and myself. That information might be incomplete, it's subject to change, and it may not apply to your project. In addition, building codes and requirements vary from region to region, so always consult a professional about specific recommendations for your home.